A lot of people get into brewing for different reasons. I think some people get into it because they think it's an easy way to make money. I can testify, at least in our case, it's not an easy way to make money, and that's really not why we're doing it. So I always say that right now, I'm not making any money. I haven't drawn a paycheck in 3 years, but if I retire today, this is exactly what I'd be doing. My name's Tim Davis. I am a co-owner of Territorial Brewing Company, and I'm the head of brewing operations here, and kind of general maintenance monkey too. What got me hooked was a love of beer first and foremost. Started reading books and started making beer, and it became an absolute obsession. So I started with my business partner Charles. I got him into home brewing. It came to a point where we had, I think, about like 40 gallons of beer on hand, and this was coming into the beginning of summer, and we're like, you know what, let's just throw a big party and invite all our friends and family over and just serve this beer. We had probably 50 or 60 people there that first year in my backyard, and that was so much fun that we were like, well, we're gonna do it again next year. And the whole time I kept thinking to myself, oh, if I ever won the lottery and could retire and do whatever I want, I would, and money was no object, I would open a brewery. I got in touch with a guy named Tom Hennessy. He is the godfather of Frankenbrewing, of basically doing as much as you can with less. I scoured the internet and found a dairy tank that would be suitable in a field outside Pulaski, Wisconsin, a company that deals with used dairy equipment. We ended up getting a floating top red wine fermenter to use as a hot liquor tank, which is really just a hot liquor holding tank. We have no heating element, no insulation on there. Buying Croatian-made white wine fermenters called Latina tanks, which are workable for beer. They're not ideal. Don't have a conical bottom. We have to hand crop our yeast when we're harvesting yeast for pitching a second time. It doesn't have a lot of the bells and whistles that a lot of other breweries start with. Tom Hennessy equates it to, you don't get your driver's license and get the keys to a Mercedes. Most people don't. You start driving a beater car, and you learn to do your best with that. And so that's really where Territorial Brewing Company was born. It was born from the inspiration of having a great mentor who gave us the encouragement and said, no, you can do this. And then also having the passion and drive to do it. We knew that we wanted to have a German focus. We knew we didn't want to limit ourselves to that. So we knew we'd be German inspired, not strictly German. And then even within that, we're not going to try to brew to the Reinheitsgebot purity laws. We're not going to try and strictly adhere to any styles. We're going to brew the beer that we want to brew, the beer that we want to drink, and the beer that we want to share with other people. Both Charles, the other owner, and I have always been fans of history, particularly Michigan history and the history of the communities in which we grew up. And I grew up in Battle Creek. We kind of wanted to make a place that feels like it's always been a part of the community since the beginning, but been updated throughout the time, maybe even a brewery that had gone out of business and then been resurrected today. This is a place where, just like if you go to any other of the great small breweries, you're going to find something different than you found anywhere else. And one of the things that's different that you're going to find here is this passion for beers that have been kind of snubbed by the craft beer community, particularly in Michigan, for a long time. You can try a craft Pilsner and see what a Pilsner tastes like when it's brewed with all malt and not brewed with adjuncts, where it's brewed to taste like beer. We have 12 faucets, and these 12 faucets are being served by only these 4 fermenters, and we're doing 60% lagers. So at our peak, we have 12 beers on. The one beer that we try to always have on is Big Yellow Truck. That's our North German Pilsner, and that is by far our biggest selling beer, our most consistently big selling beer. We have a lot of specialty, one-off beers and seasonal beers that come out and will, for a short period of time, be bigger sellers for us, but then always seems to be a return to the mean. Our Doppelbock Penetrator is insanely popular. Actually, for the first year we were open, we brewed it year-round, and we had never intended to. And that one is way bigger than a standard Doppelbock, and it's a pain in the ass to brew because it's so big. We say we don't brew it, we go to war with it, and we're just kind of at the mercy of that beer. And then we also really like to brew some sour German wheat beers, and those we kind of mainly do in summer, but we pepper them throughout the year. We hit our production threshold pretty quickly, and the only way for us to make more beer would be to change what we do and brew more ales and less lagers, which is not something that we're interested in doing because we don't want to lose who we are and we don't want to lose what we're passionate about. And we feel like we owe that to our loyal customers who are as much a part of this company as I am or anybody who works here. Being here all the time, we have a lot of homebrewers come through the door. A lot of them have questions. A lot of them have really good feedback and honest criticism on the beers, and I love that. What I found out being on the professional side, the professional brewing community is just like the home brewing community in those regards. Nobody gives you respect that you don't earn, but everybody respects you for trying to do your best and trying to make the best beer that you can, and everybody is extremely helpful. This is an industry that's far more rooted in contribution than competition. We're always going to be Territorial Brewing Company, so we're not looking to produce hundreds of thousands of barrels of beer a year. That's not our goal. Our goal is, like I said, to focus local first and get it right.